Yeah, so let's start with everybody taking a deep breath and just exhaling through the mouth with an audible sound. So take a moment, come into your body. So however works best for you, come from your head down, check in with your heart center, just feeling the space there in your body, and then the upper belly, and the low belly. Feel into your hips and your legs and your feet, and then down into the earth. So connect with the earth. Come into your body, be embodied for this tap. You'll get a lot more out of it. So for everyone who is new to tapping, it's a little bit about tapping. Tapping is, or EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. Tapping is a somatic process, and it's based on both voice dialogue, so you'll be speaking, as will I, and also on Chinese medicine. So we have meridians that run through our bodies, acupuncture meridians, and these meridians are associated with different organs and different organ systems. So there's a very, I think, amazing liquid that flows through these meridians that's been researched and discovered in the last 10 years or so. This liquid that flows through the meridians has a similar quality to fiber optics. So it's energetic and it's light-based. When I first learned that, I got really excited. So we're working with the energy flows in your body and also working with subconscious feelings and beliefs and thoughts and emotions. The emotions are fluid and they're meant to flow. But what happens so many times is that when we're overwhelmed or we haven't had the permission or the space to process, especially intense emotions, they can get stuck. They can clog the meridian flows, and they can become stagnant and actually affect our physical health, not to mention our emotional well-being. I'm sure, I mean, I've experienced that countless times. I'm sure that everybody on this call has too. So what we're going to do today when we tap, we're going to tap on endpoints of the meridians. The meridians originate deep in the body, and they also, in their flows, they come up near to the surface of the skin. So those are the points we'll be tapping on. We're going to literally be tapping with a light fingertip touch on these different meridian points. In a few minutes, I'll show you the map of the tap, and it's really, really simple, easy to learn. You can follow me if you get confused. If you make mistakes, just know you don't have to do it perfectly. That was one of the things I love about tapping, is because it works even if we're not sure what we're doing. So, yeah. And I'm just giving a little bit of a moment more for people to come, arrive, sit in your chair, or you can stand if you'd like. I recommend that you have a cup of tea or a glass of water and some tissues perhaps, because sometimes when the energy moves, when our emotions move, we may cry. So that's a good thing. Physical effects of tapping can include yawning, which I yawn a lot, so I probably will yawn while I'm tapping today. Burping, I also do that. So laughing, crying, tingling, you get sometimes tingling sensations, goosebumps. Sometimes people feel nauseated, and that's temporary. It could be any number of things. Just know that whatever physical sensations arise while you're tapping, they will pass. They're actually a good sign because they indicate that your nervous system is reorganizing. So get comfortable, and just want to give you a little more time. Make sure you have your water or your tea. You may even want to journal after the tap. I hope you can allow, say, 15 minutes after the tap to journal or rest or just contemplate and feel your body. If you feel like while you're tapping, if you have a lot of energy flowing that feels anxiety or feels intense in that way, you can always stand up and shake around and move around while you're tapping. Feel free, if your space is safe and comfortable for this, to yell if you need to. If you just need to express intense emotion, this is the time and the place where you're invited to do that and be held in the big old heart, or big collective heart of love. These are intense times for everyone across the whole planet. And so it's important for us to be able to ground and center and be able to know enough about what's going on and not deny it, but at the same time not get co-opted, not get kidnapped or possessed by the group field, which can really stir up a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. I know I've been riding that roller coaster, and I think most people have, from one time to another. And it's been really, really helpful to me to tap. I've tapped just about every day. Also, I recommend you increase your meditation periods if you don't have them. If you don't meditate, then just sit down, turn on a timer for 15 or 20 minutes and sit still and daydream or think or whatever, but don't don't move around, don't interrupt your doing, and just be for a while and feel into your body. It doesn't have to be any kind of formal meditation. Just take in that stillness, and I recommend you do this 3 or 4 times a day, at least once a day. So let's go ahead and get started with, we're going to start with grounding and centering, and we're going to go in a more detailed way, come into our bodies and connect with the earth. So take easy, deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, making an audible sound, like a sigh or even a moan or a groan. So the idea is to bring the energy down your body, come down into that lower belly and into the pelvis. So feel your feet on the ground. So the sound too, I'm going down the scale. Those lower sounds really ground you in your body in terms of sound healing, vibration. Doesn't need to sound pretty, just feel it in your body. Come on in, down, down, down. You're more grounded. And with this out breath, then imagine that you're sending roots down into the earth. The roots can go out your sit bones, out your hips, down your legs, out your feet, and into the earth. These roots can be like rivers of light, or they can be like the roots of an enormous, ancient redwood tree or any kind of tree. It's your rooting deep, deep, deep into the earth. You're sensing into your pelvic bowl, so you can sense your sit bones, your hip bones, right to left side, your sacrum tailbone, pubic bone. So you're going to sense that front to back dimension from the pubic bone to your sacrum and your tailbone. And then side to side from your right hip to your left hip. Just really nestle into this vessel of your pelvic bowl, which is a very potent power center for us. So it's a creative center, it's survival center. And here today we're going to create something more comfortable for you, for all of us, as we navigate through these times. So really feeling that strength and the expansive dimension of your pelvic bowl. And then from there, one more time, check in with your roots, ground into the earth. You can send your roots down as deep as feels good and comfortable to you. So there's a place at which your roots will kind of just drop, like it's like dropping an anchor is the sensation that I get. And there you are, you've landed, you're grounded. And from there you can begin to, just like a tree, wick up nourishing and nurturing earth energy all the way up through your roots and coming out of the earth and up into your body, up your feet, your legs, your sit bones. So in particular right now, let's focus on the bones of our feet and our legs and our pelvis and spine, and bringing in this nurturing, nourishing earth energy. This sense of steadiness. Our bones are another power center, and this is thanks to Suzanne Skurlock-Durana for bringing this forth, at least in my life. So our bones are a power center because these are the steadiest parts of our body, of the structures in our body. The bones are steady. So go ahead and bring in, as if you were drinking a soothing, refreshing, nourishing drink from the earth. The vitality, very calm, steady, just filling your bones. There's an infinite supply of this. It's energy, calling it in. And filling your bones. Take some time here to just feel the steadiness. There you go. So you might feel a sense of dropping down again, just coming down a notch. This is very reassuring to feel the steadiness, receive from the earth. Feel your bones. And so as you're grounding into the earth and feeling your steadiness, this is a really good time to call in any protector, deities, or guides that you work with. You know, a lot of people work with Archangel Michael. I work a lot with the humpback whales, who are the guardians and keepers of the Akashic. They are very protective energies for me. Green Tara, for some people it's Kuan Yin, for some people it's God or the universe or Jesus. It can be whatever resonates with you. And if you don't have a sense of having particular protector, guides, or deities, then choose one now, and you can begin to cultivate a relationship with protective energies in the formless realms. It could be angels or archangels. They're all here for us. We all have protectors and guides around us. And it's our job to call on them, to call forth, to ask, please support me now. Please help me now. Give me this protection to help me keep my energy strong and functional and at peace, so that I can hear and know and see what's mine to do, so that I can show up as a person of compassion, or whatever your prayer may be. And I'm going to ask that our protector guides help us cultivate in our bodies the somatic sense of being at greater peace and more empowered, which helps us build immunity. Building immunity because our immune systems function better when we're calm, when we're centered, when we're grounded. So we're just increasing resilience. This is an opportunity to be more resilient. And calling in pillars of light. These can be clear light or white light. In every corner of the room that you're in, so these pillars of light extend down into the center of the earth and up to the center of the stars, the cosmos. It's a very protective field of energy here. Space for you to be able to process what you need to process, be vulnerable if that needs to happen. You can also call in these pillars of light in every corner of your home, in every corner of your yard or apartment complex, or wherever you are. Just surrounding yourself with protective energies. And knowing that you can call this in through your imaginal. When we use our imagination in a very focused, intentional way, it affects every cell in our body. So it can be quite potent. I highly recommend that you use your imagination to support your healing, your centering, your groundedness, and your steadiness. So today as we tap, you may be releasing some what you think of as negative emotions, fear, anxiety, for example. And just know that any emotions, any energies that you release while you're tapping today can exit through the floor or a window. You can just sense into what makes the most sense where you are, in the space where you are, and that these energies can be composted. And once they go, I work with like a vortex, like a funnel shaped energetic structure that wicks out any energies that are released and points it right to, like the mouth of a trumpet, right to this part of my garden that's dedicated to compost, and where the plants there have been very generous in offering to take any of those energies. Because once you release these energies, they're not toxic once they're not in your body anymore. They're not even stress anymore. They just get composted and become food for a healthy, loving, and sacred life. Just like the compost that you actually make food with or grow plants with. So I have just a very brief invocation here. Dear God, or universe, or green Tara, or whoever your protectors are, you can fill in that blank. During this tap today, Help me be present to how I'm feeling right now. Help me ride the waves of emotion and bring me home to myself again. And so it is. Okay, so I want to talk just a little bit about tapping itself for anyone who's new to tapping. I'm going to take you through the map because we haven't done that yet. So we talked about tapping a little while earlier. Now I'm going to take you through the map. So basically, I'm taking my glasses off just because it's easier. We're going to start here in the upper chest. So if you feel your collarbones and go down about 5 or 6 inches, you feel your collarbones here, and then go down about 5 or 6 inches to this tissues right above the ribs there, and in your, see, can you see, is that better, Deborah? Can see? Okay. I wasn't able to see my screen for a while there. So, all right, so these points up here, find a couple of tender spots. This is in your upper chest. For me, a lot of times right near the breastbone, there's some tender spots. It can be anywhere. They can be out here. These are kind of tender. So, and you're just going to rub these gently in circles with maybe your thumbs or whatever's easiest for you. And you're not trying to massage them like a deep tissue massage. You're just rubbing them in circles. This is emotional reset point. And we're going to take a deep breath, and then we're going to exhale through the mouth with a sigh. So for this first round, I'm just going to take you through the points. And next time, once we get through one round, then we'll actually go into the tap itself. Okay, oops, there's my screen. My screen's really small, so okay, so come to where the eyebrows meet the nose. For this round of demonstration and doing it for the first time, we're just going to do that deep inhale and exhale through the mouth. While tapping lightly on these points where the eyebrows meet the nose, and then come to the temples. Already I'm yawning. And then the cheekbones under the center of the eyes. And you don't have to tap hard. In fact, I recommend you tap lightly because you'll get tired if you tap too hard. So under the nose, there's this nice little divot there between your nose and your upper lip. And seriously, I recommend making sound, making noise. A lot of us are taught to button it up, especially women, to not be vocal. So you get great results when you actually make the sound, the sighing or the moaning or the groaning. And then under the lip, in that little valley in the chin there. And then we're going to go to the upper chest, the same area where we were starting with the emotional reset. This is also just an emotional reset area, and you can just tap in little circles all around the chest. There are many, many acupuncture meridian endpoints here, so just tap around and you'll hit some. This isn't the most, you don't have to be totally precise. It works. So the next point is going to be, let's see, the top rib. So is that working? Can you see that visually? So underneath, say, would be the center, almost the nipple line. So the bottom rib, sorry. I was upside down. The bottom rib. And the next point is going to be under the armpits on the same latitude. So you can do it this way. You can see me okay, this way, or you can do it this way, whichever feels more comfortable to you. Okay, so next point, we're going to go to the hand, so the wrist, and you can use either wrist. I'm using my left wrist, and you're going to tap on these lines here at the base of the wrist, and you just take 2 or 3 fingers. And then hold your hand vertically as if you're making a karate chop. And then tap at the base, the base of the thumb nail where it meets the skin. And then we'll go to the index finger, tap on the same place. This would be the top side if you were still in a karate chop. The side that's facing the stars or the ceiling. And then your middle finger. These are all meridian endpoints. And then with your ring finger, this is the only rebel. This finger you tap on the underside, the earth-facing side, if you had a karate chop hand like that. So again, if you mess this up, just know you can't really mess it up. It will work because you're going to hit some points somewhere. So this is the map, and you'll get the hang of it as we continue. Pinky finger, the same as all the other fingers. And then this karate chop point itself, tapping there. And then going to the top of the head. Let's see, I'm going to move my camera a little bit. Top of the head, sides of the head, back of the head. There are so many meridian endpoints on the head that we're not even specific with the location. And it actually feels really good. Tap lightly though. Don't. When I first started tapping, I would bang, bang, bang. So tap lightly. I know sometimes when I get intense, I'm an intense person, and sometimes I will tap like that. So that's one round. Okay, so we're going to begin now, and we'll tap for 45 minutes to maybe an hour. We'll see. You can go to 3:30 if it goes that far. Would that be all right with you, Deborah? Yeah, okay, so we'll see how this goes. And I'm going to remember to move my camera so you can see where we're starting. So actually, I'm going to get a little sip of water, which you might want to do. Stay hydrated so that the energy moves, help the energy move. Okay, so here we go. You find again a couple of tender spots on your chest. And then you're going to repeat after me. So I'm going to use a voice dialogue. And I'll say, for now, I'm going to say, even though, and then you would say, even though all this stuff is going on, and I'm feeling really anxious these days. I'm here now to be kind to myself. So as I offer you the language, the dialogue to use, if the words I'm using aren't speaking to you, then change the words to what's alive and potent for you, because tapping works by helping us move the energy from our subconscious emotions. And so when you're speaking words that really ring true for you, you'll feel sometimes a charged feeling. And if it just has no energy in it at all, change the words. So you get to do that and create this. Your tap belongs to you, even if this is the first time you've ever done it. So we're going to do another breath here. And let's go to the brow points. Things have been really intense lately. Really intense. Really intense. And go to the temples. I'm such a sensitive person. I feel things that aren't even mine. And then under the eyes. And my feelings are a lot to feel anyway. I have a lot of my own feelings going on. A lot of feelings, and they're so powerful that sometimes I feel swept up by my own emotions, my fears, anxieties, and worries. And then come under the nose. And even though I've been getting ungrounded, I am worthy of care and love and kindness. Under the lip, I'm allowing myself to receive compassion right now in this moment. I'm giving compassion to myself. And then come down to the upper chest and tap in circles there. I'm letting myself receive the sensations in my body of reassurance. Reassurance that at some point, at some time, everything will be okay. In fact, maybe it is okay right now. Maybe I am okay right now. Let's come to the bottom rib here. And you can, if you get tired, you can just tap with one hand at a time. Some people do it that way all the time. That's perfectly valid, and it also works. I tend to tap with two hands. Meeting myself with compassion. Here with this group of people, we're all tapping together because we're all on a mission. So come to these points under the arms, tapping here on the ribs. This is more comfortable for me, so this is how I tap this point. It's reassuring to know that other people feel like I feel and that we're doing this together. Come to the bottom of the wrist. We're connected, not only in anxiety or fear or a sense of threat, we're connected in our steadiness and our groundedness. And being centered. And go to the base of the thumbnail. It's so helpful to be in a group of other people who are getting centered and grounded, just as I am. Let's go to the index finger. I'm giving myself permission for now to feel my feelings. Excuse me, I'm going to pause for a moment. Do you need to talk to me, Deborah, or? Okay, right. To feel my feelings and let everyone else take care of their own feelings. Go to the middle finger, but I'm a collective empath. I'm a collective empath. I'm sure some of you on the call are too. It's so easy for me to feel other people's feelings. And I understand that being a collective empath is a gift because it helps me with the healing work I do. It helps me be compassionate and empathic with other people. I acknowledge that it's a gift and it's a skill, and it's also a responsibility. And come to the base of the ring finger. Again, the ring finger is the one that is uniquely, that point is on the bottom side of the ring finger. I'm bringing myself kindness here, and I'm taking some deep breaths. And I'm realizing that I'm going to get through this one way or another, one way or another. And just because I'm a collective empath doesn't mean that I have to put everyone else's feelings ahead of mine, or even, we'll go to the pinky finger, even confuse my feelings with theirs. Just for right now, I'm acknowledging that I have enough energetic and emotional information about the collective field. So go to the karate chop points. And again, you can go at your own pace. You don't have to be on the same points I'm on. That I don't need to keep reading the field 24/7. That I can just be with myself, be with the earth, be with my loved ones, and take the actions I need to do to feel good, or to feel better, to feel steadier. So come to the top of the head, sides of the head, back of the head. I can do this grounding meditation, this embodiment, sensation meditation. Can remind myself that there's no point in being highly anxious about things I have no control over. Okay. Brow points. That's what's wrong. I don't have any control over this. Things are out of control and it's scary. I don't know what's going to happen. Come to the temples, and even though I don't know what's going to happen, no one knows what's going to happen. It's okay for me to choose to be in the eye of the storm. Cheekbones. I have a highly sensitive nervous system. Well, some of us have a really pretty profound trauma history, PTSD, CPTSD. I also have that myself, so I sympathize, I empathize, I acknowledge that those of us that have had that early disruption and stimulation to our nervous systems, and then under the nose, that we spent maybe the early years of our lives in fight or flight or freeze. So we need to put in extra effort because you're worth it. We're worth it. So that means we need to give ourselves permission to turn off Facebook. Now, from now on, I'm going to keep tapping through the map, and you can go at your own pace. I may not announce every single time I change. Okay, if you stay on one point, if you feel something really juicy there, a charge, you can stay on that one point. Otherwise, you can go at your own rate. So, it's okay that I need this extra TLC, that I need to put extra effort into down-regulating my nervous system so that I can be grounded, centered, and steady. It's worth the effort. I'm giving myself permission to stop watching the news, turn off the radio, turn off Facebook, stay away from social media, to be hygienic about this. So what would work for me to have good hygiene as far as the collective energy goes? So you may have your own thoughts or inspirations, a felt sense of what would really work for you. What might work for you, I'm just going to throw it out here, recommend is, we're going to the risk point now, is, okay, so I'm going to give myself 1 time a day or 2 times a day to go on Facebook or whatever social media is your preference for, and set a time, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 5 minutes, or not at all. And I'm going to be disciplined and only look at the posts that are reassuring, top of the fun, calming, inspiring, because we also know that as frightening as this virus can be, and the whole idea of pandemic, epidemic, can be, that there's a gift in here somewhere as well. So I'm giving myself permission to be very hygienic about how much news, how much of other people's emotions I expose myself to, so that I can come back into and come to the middle finger, a place of steadiness, groundedness, centered. So we're going to go right now, we're going to kind of go back into the anxiety or the fear. I'm going to give you the opportunity to tap together on that. So I'm going to start with fear. If anxiety feels more like it to you, then you can use that word. I'm going to start with fear, and we'll do fear and anxiety. If there are other emotions you're feeling, then just plug them in. So we're going to do what's called turbo tapping. So we're going to say the same thing over and over again, this emotion, all this fear, this fear, 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 and then the pinky finger, fear. Fear. Make sure you're taking deep breaths, big exhales. Sigh. Fear, 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 fear. So one of the things that happens when we turbo tap on an emotion like this that's got so much of an energy charge on it is that we're draining that charge, because the subconscious goes, oh, she gets it. He gets it. Oh, yeah, okay, I don't have to keep broadcasting this signal over and over trying to get something to happen. Okay, so we're really, even though we may go through an arc of feeling more worried or more anxious or more fear while we're doing the turbo tap, that will calm down somatically. That's the function of the nervous system when we keep doing this. So all this fear on the wrist, I think I just messed up the sequence, and that's a great way to demonstrate it doesn't matter. So top of the head, sides of the head, back of the head. This fear, this fear, this fear. It makes me feel tight. I feel tense. My body feels tight, hard to breathe. So you can just speak whatever the sensations you're feeling. My legs feel tight. My jaw feels tight. All this fear. And I'm open to surrendering now any of this fear that isn't mine to process. I'm letting my body know, under the eyes, that I can't process anyone else's emotions. It may be that when I was that when I was 4 years old, I thought I could. Or when I was 8 years old, I thought I could. And that came from a place of love, self-protection, self-preservation, because when we were little, if we could feel the feelings in the field around us, mostly the family, it could have been another environment where there was danger, maybe fear, maybe anger or rage, just something unsettling, that by tuning into that, we were protecting ourselves. And it made many people who have that in their background very highly attuned to our intuition. And it also, sometimes we need to go back and do some boundary repair, as well as start to acknowledge that we don't have to do that anymore in that same way. This is many years later. The grown-up me can do this differently. Just acknowledging the emotions and only processing my emotions. Okay, so come to the bottom ribs here. I'm acknowledging that it's not my job to process anyone else's emotions. And I'm giving myself permission to let other people have their own feelings. Under the arms, their own emotions. Go to the base of the wrist. My fear is my fear. My fear is my fear. Go to the thumb. Everyone else's fears are their fears. Everyone else's fears are their fears. Giving myself permission not to feel their fears. I can have compassion. I can acknowledge that other people have fear. I'm not the only one, without taking on anyone else's emotions, any energy from that person. I'm reminding myself that I am in a space where I have grounded in with the earth, connected with the steadiness in my bones, called in these pillars of light in each corner of the room, and called on my protector guides. And if this is new to me, then I'm really happy I'm learning I can do this, that I can call in protector guides. Even one guide is enough to help keep the space around me safe for me to live in. And I love and accept myself. So we'll go to the pinky finger. And if that feels like a leap for you, you can say, I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Or karate chop point, I'm open to the possibility of loving and accepting myself. Even though I've had a lot of fear and I've been highly activated and it's been hard to sleep and sometimes hard to think clearly. So we're going to tap again on an emotion of anxiety. So I feel like that's the second highest on the barometer. And again, if you're feeling something different, then tap on that. Use those words. All this anxiety. All this anxiety. Anxiety. I'm acknowledging the anxiety. I hear it on the news. I feel it. I read it. I hear it in other people's voices. All this anxiety. I feel this tension in my solar plexus. Anxiety. Anxiety. So uncomfortable. Anxiety. My body feels tense. My solar plexus feels like a fist that's clenched. I'm acknowledging that this is a familiar sensation to me. This is not the first time I have felt anxiety. Anxiety. Anxiety can prevent me from feeling centered. Anxiety can interfere with my capacity to choose to trust what's happening in the moment. It's hard for me to trust, so I'm going to the bottom rib, it's hard for me to trust what's happening in the moment because I don't like it. I don't want this to be happening. I want things to be normal. And again, change the words if this doesn't resonate with you. I really want my family to be okay. I want my friends to be okay. Base of the wrist. I don't want to suffer. I don't want anyone to suffer. Let's go to the thumb. And all of this is beyond my control. I'm open to learning and giving myself permission to stop trying to control what I can't control. I'm bringing my energy back to me, to my body, to the space I'm in, and I'm re-grounding with the earth. I'm tuning in again to the steadiness in my bones. I'm meeting myself with kindness. If nothing else, I can be kind to myself today. I can be kind to myself when I lose control. There's times when, go to the middle finger, I need to cry, and I'm giving myself permission to cry when I need to. Because crying is healing. Crying is a release. Sometimes even yelling is a release. I'm going to the bottom of the ring finger, screaming, pounding pillows, jumping jacks. Now, one thing you can do is, I'm not standing up now, so I can't really show you this that well, but if you stand up and just shake all over, that's a really good way to dispel the energy, and you can do that. So it's a it's a biological way of releasing anxiety and fear from the body. There you go. So just that sound, remember to go down the scale so that your sound goes Now I know that that's not going to win an opera singing competition. We're doing this to heal our bodies, and we're using the technology of sound vibration. This is not about being evaluated or judged. It doesn't need to be a pretty sound. In fact, it probably won't be pretty. And even if it's not, it's beautiful because you are releasing what you need to release. So come to the bottom rib. I'm open to the possibility that I can ask to have the serenity that I need to have in order to navigate through these up and down waves of energy, these bouncing times. Under the arms, Maybe I'm open to the possibility that tapping can be my surfboard through these waves. What would happen if I surfed the waves instead of getting tossed around by them? I can't control the ocean. That would be silly. I can't control much of anything, actually. I'm acknowledging that, even though I forget that day by day. I can't control anything, and tensing my muscles isn't going to help me control anything. Deep breath, vocal exhalation. I'm meeting myself with kindness here. Index finger, this is intense. There's a lot going on. It's possible that I can be one of the people who's feeling safe even in the middle of all this. Middle finger, because some people are feeling safe. Some people have that skill to make the choice and then be able to follow through on it. So what kind of things make me feel safe? I'm going to tap through just some ideas that come to me, and again, change the words if you have other ideas. So, and there I have many meditation and mindfulness practices. So, silent meditation. I love to do toning. That helps me ground and center. Chanting mantras. Saying a prayer. Tapping is one of my number one. Yoga. A lot of people love to do yoga. I do joint mobility exercises every morning, and then I do Qigong and Tai Chi, and then I pull weeds or lie in the grass. So whatever feels grounding and healing to you, just start to acknowledge that and call that in. Like, these can be part of your daily routine. Petting the cat, playing fetch with the dog, taking walks, staying 6 feet away, because I'm part of flattening out the curve. Well, let's flatten out this curve together. Let's rock this, flattening out the curve. And being active can be really helpful. So maybe, like this morning for me, I cleaned all the AC filters, used a disinfectant on them, the dehumidifier filter, doorknobs. I scrubbed the trash cans, the kitchen trash can, the bathroom trash can with disinfectant that's an essential oil blend, and it's a household cleaner. That smells really, really good. I did all the doorknobs. I cleaned cobwebs at the same time. Cleaned my phone and my computer. It felt really good. So taking action is another way too to help you feel safer and more grounded and more empowered. And sometimes that might mean putting on some music and dancing around. I've been doing that as well. There have been a number of free broadcasts of dance parties online. A lot of people are contributing free resources. There are guided meditations coming in. There are very, very thoughtful blog articles being written. I'm giving myself permission to rest take in what serves me and let the rest of it run without me. I love and accept myself. So this is a time where I'm going to check in with the chat. I'm going to take a little pause here and see if you have something in specific you'd like to tap on, or let's see. Okay, so you can go down to the chat there if you would like to ask for a particular emotion or thought or belief to be tapped on. We can do that. Let me know how you're doing. And I've got the panel open, so I have a moment here to read if anybody wants to post anything. And if not, we'll just keep tapping. So go back to this emotional reset place. I'm looking forward to a time when this is in my rearview mirror and I know how it all came out. Thank you. So, yeah. Okay, let's tap on this. If I'm afraid that if I make a mistake, I might hurt others. What if I make a mistake? What if I make a mistake? What if I make a mistake? What if I'm an asymptomatic carrier and I have no idea that I could be passing this on to other people? What if I forget about maintaining social distancing and just spontaneously give someone a big hug and they freak out? What if, those are the ones that come to mind for me. If I make a mistake, I might hurt others. If I forget or neglect to tell someone who's coming to my house, this would be for me that I traveled recently and that I'm in actually a quarantine period, self-quarantining, so that I can be more confident that I don't expose anyone. And I'm taking extra good care of myself, my health. Usually during oak pollen season, I have some pretty intense allergies. And this year, less than ever, I've been massaging all my sinus areas twice a day, very meticulously, ear, nose, and throat, and eyes. I've been tapping, meditating, drinking really healthy herbs for lungs and sinuses, things that help me, and you get to choose what helps you. Been avoiding sugar. I don't do alcohol or caffeine. So I'm really taking steps that reassure me that I'm taking good care of myself and others by letting people know, yeah, I can go for a walk with you if we stay 6 feet apart. Or if someone comes to my house, I can say, actually, all of my clients now and groups that I lead, I'm doing online. So if I do hurt others unknowingly, then I'm giving myself compassion for worrying about that and for even the possibility of that. Because sometimes we do hurt others unintentionally, unknowingly. We do make mistakes. I'm letting all parts of me know that I don't have to be perfect at this. This is a new situation. Conditions and recommendations are changing daily. It's just not all on me. I'm doing the best I can. I'm acknowledging that I'm not perfect. I am good enough. I'm not perfect. If I were perfect, I'd have all this under control. Excuse me. I would have all this under control. If I were perfect, I would have all this under control. When I think about controlling everything and having all this under control, my body feels tight again. I can't control this. I can't know for sure any of this outcome. What I can do under the lip is my very best, and acknowledge my intention is to be helpful, be safe, be protective of myself and others. That's what flattening the curve is all about. And I'm completely willing to do my part. Or if you're not, you can say, I'm not willing to do my part. Just tap on what's true for you. I'm not willing to do my part. I want someone else to do it all for me. Sometimes we can feel so helpless or freaked out. So let's tap on that a little bit. The whole idea of this pandemic is so freaky. It really freaks me out. It really freaks me out. This is like a sci-fi movie. This is like an apocalyptic scenario. I've thought about it. I've heard about past pandemics, and it's very likely, for sure, some of my ancestors died in the centuries past, even in the 20th century, with various flu epidemics, plague. And so I'm sending love and compassion and reassurance to all my ancestors, all who went before me, who suffered in previous plagues and pandemics, who died, who suffered. And I'm releasing any of their emotions that I may have been carrying. Epigenetically, so for those of you who are new to that word, epigenetics means the energetics and the emotions that we inherit from our ancestors. Epigenetically, I'm releasing myself from all those past traumas, emotions, fears, the suffering of my ancestors. At the same time that I am allowing myself to feel my own light. This is the divine seed of light within me. That's part of my soul that incarnated in human form to come and live this life right now, this life right now. This is my life right now. And I trust my soul. I trust, middle finger, I trust that I've landed here right now. I'm here right now. And for all of my ancestors, ring finger, who were hurt, injured, permanently wounded, or died due to plagues or pandemics or viruses or flus, whatever name they were given. I'm acknowledging that way before, we're going to go back through the lineage, earlier times than when the plagues and pandemics began, because they didn't begin until there was a certain level of population density, where hygiene was difficult and contagion was more likely. So come to the karate chop point. I'm bringing kindness and compassion to myself. And way before, so see, top of the head, sides of the head, back of the head. In the ancient times, before my ancestors who did experience illness and plagues in ancient times, there are radiant beings, radiant ancestors who are still my loved ones and allies now, even if I haven't acknowledged them before or even thought about this before. Or maybe I have thought about this, maybe I have sensed it. And I invite you, if this feels comfortable to you, to call on the radiant well ones in your ancestral lineages. So that would be your mother's mother's lineage, father's father's lineage. Go to the temples, mother's father's lineage, father's father's lineage. And it may just be one of these lineages that you feel, just ask, you'll see a bright light, light up like a billboard or like Times Square, a bright, radiant, healed ancestor that you are related to by blood and bone, by DNA, even if it's thousands of years ago. It's maybe 5,000 years ago, maybe 8,000 years ago, maybe longer. The first well ancestor I connected with was 5,000 years ago. And so just knowing that there is in your blood and bones, there is a radiant well one. There are radiant well ones that are also supporting you. And over these last several hundreds of years of colonization, etc., we've lost the skill and the reverence for tending our ancestors' wellness and radiance. So we can do that today, just with the radiant well ancestor, and knowing that you have an ally, powerful ally here. Let's see, go to the rib cage. That can be bright and radiant at the other end. And all of the unwell ancestors over the years who suffered with plagues and various things, let's just invite them. We're going to wrap them in a cocoon of light that's safe, that's made of, the cocoon is spun with the threads of love, safety. It's a place where they can rest and sleep and also be contained. So we're setting a boundary here with our own ancestral histories. Meeting ourselves with love and kindness. Setting a boundary here. And setting this boundary then, I feel more restful, more calm, giving myself permission to rest and strengthen my immune system by resting and being calm and trusting that on some level, something good will come out of this, even if I can't see it now, even if I don't know what it is. If this is an opportunity for me to surrender and acknowledge that life is uncertain. Index finger, it's actually uncertain every day, every minute of every day. That is the nature of reality. This is a very, very high Buddhist teaching, and not just Buddhist. This goes across many ancient systems of navigating being human, being a soul in human form, is that middle finger, life is uncertain. And our culture has put a lot of effort into managing anxiety around that, trying to control it, trying to operate as if that's not true. And I'm meeting myself with love and acceptance of just where I am right now with all this. Being kind to myself, even if I don't like uncertainty. I'm not ready for this high-level teaching. I just want to go back to regular life. A part of me really appreciates that this is an opportunity to practice living with this greater truth that life is uncertain and gain some skills here. What if I can acknowledge that life is uncertain, that I don't know what's going to happen, that no one knows what's going to happen, and be okay with that. In this moment, I'm looking around me in the room, or I'm turning inward, my eyes are closed, just feeling in, and yeah, I am. I'm completely safe right now. I'm in the present moment, just noticing my hips on the chair, my feet on the floor, my fingers tapping in my hair or on my head. Feeling the air on my skin. Life is uncertain. Go to the temples. Life is uncertain. I'm open to relinquishing the illusion of control over what happens. And I'm acknowledging that I have agency. So tap under the nose. Agency means I have the capacity to take action, to make some measured decisions, think things through. What will be helpful to me today? What will be helpful to my family today, my friends, the people I care about, my students, my clients, my patients, whoever you're preoccupied with? How can I be helpful? And maybe it's possible that being helpful starts with taking care of myself so that I don't increase other people's fears or anxiety. What if that's enough? For right now, what if that's enough? Being responsible and taking action and doing the best I can, even if I'm not perfect, to take effective action under the armpits, to get grounded, centered, and feel the steadiness in my bones. What if I need to tap 3 times a day on this? That's okay. These are waves. It's like the waves in the ocean. These are waves, energy currents in the etheric, in the energy field, the collective field. So I'm giving myself permission to pay more attention to my own steadiness, my own groundedness, my own safety. And as I feel connected, then when I know it's mine to do, I can also be helpful to others. So we have a question that just came in. Does one always have to say a script while tapping? You can just tap the points and breathe and go, ah. In fact, I'll do that often when I'm driving, or just different points where I just want to, but use the breath. Make sure you breathe, you ground, you center, and make the sound with the exhale. And go down into the belly. So get some movement going on there. You can just do that. Actually, you get a lot of benefit from just tapping through the map. You don't have to say anything. You can also just tap on the story, blah, 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 and that can be very helpful too. So thank you for your question. So we're coming to the end of the tap. And I want to thank everybody who has participated, and please use this as often as you like. I'm going to check in with, use it as often as you like. You can share it. It's free. Please do share it with anybody. Let's see. With anybody that you think would benefit or might be interested. And I would love to get any feedback. If you go to my Facebook page is called Guided by Soul. And I would love if you post some feedback there. That would be awesome. I'm thanking Deborah because she's also making a video recording. So we'll be posting that so that you can use it as often as you like and change the words. And I would love for you to check out my website. It's Nancy Kern, Kern, nancykern.com. And if you'd like announcements of further events like this, then you can sign up for my newsletter there, which only goes out when I have something to say. It will not clog your inbox. So thank you very much. Hi, Martine. I'm so happy she's here from Canada. Martine is an awesome tapping practitioner herself. And thank you, Mahaba Ahmed. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, everyone who came and people who didn't sign in or make any comments. That's all good. And all the people who will work with the replay later. Thank you so much. And also, there was a post here that helped ease your migraine headache. I'm so glad to hear that. The tapping can be really good for migraines and for ordinary headaches and really almost any situation responds well to tapping. So if you have any questions or comments, again, you can email me through my website. There's a contact me form. It's Nancy Kern, Kern.com. And there's a contact, and then you can just fill it out and send any questions that you might have. All right. Blessings, everybody. Thank you. This was really enjoyable.